Guys, AC here. Welcome back to another review. Today I've got a top 10 list of a house that I really respect, and I'm very confident in recommending their fragrances. It's the house of Rasasi, based out of Dubai. They were, I think, created or formed in 1979. So they've come a long way, and most of their fragrances are fragrances that fall in the category of very high value for money. The compositions are good quality, their prices are very affordable, and they're not only just a clone house, but they produce compositions which are thoughtful. Yeah, and they have a huge array of releases. I think there are more than 100. If you go to Notino, you'll see it. And they have divided their compositions into various types of categories. I'll name a few. I haven't got a huge collection, but I've got about 16 fragrances. So I've left 6 out and I've picked the best of the bunch. So, one honorable mention, and it is a very high quality Rasasi. It's Rasasi La Yuqawam. Now this one, Parfum, is not in this list. Reason being, people buy Rasasi to be able to wear it everywhere, right? This has got very low wearability and this is very daring, yeah? Hence, it will not appeal to everybody, yeah? And I'm making this list to help the masses because this list will be helpful to people who are getting into perfumery or who want to explore the Rasasi house. They're on a budget, they only want to have 5 or 6 fragrances, and Rasasi could provide them with that option. So I'm leaving this out. This has got very low variability, it's not easy to like, it's a very high quality scent, very creative, tries to do Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, and it does it very well. Probably is better smelling, but you know, just as I mentioned, it's going to be very difficult for people new into fragrances to be able to wear this and like it. That's why I left it out. So let's start the list. Number 1 in the list is a fragrance, or number 10 in the list I should say, is a fragrance that I reviewed about 1.5 years ago, and it is Rasasi Al Wissam Evening. The reason I've picked this up is because of its resemblance to the middle stages of Creed's Royal Oud. This one uses galbanum as a primary note, and it's a very soft sandalwood which accompanies the fragrance. It's a soft woody green scent, just like Creed's Royal Oud. Creed's Royal Oud is very fine scent. It has got a lot of complexities. This one doesn't have the complexity. It's a linear scent, but if you're looking for a soft woody green, very likable fragrance for evening wear, then I would highly recommend this. Actually, it's a fragrance you can wear any time of the day, and it doesn't have the strength for winter, but milder weather, spring and autumn, this shines. It's a beautiful fragrance, very easy to wear, very easy to like, and it's a gentle fragrance. It's not, it hasn't got the kind of performance other Rasasis in this list have. I'd get about 5 to 6 hours, but it's a very good fragrance to start with, especially if you like sandalwood. Next on the list is a fragrance which is just the opposite. It's loud, it's very likable, it's very attractive, and it also emulates a Creed. It is from the Sutoor line, and I'll put the name in the description, and this one is called Taa, T-A-A, Sutoor Taa. Now this one basically uses, this is quite a sweet fragrance, and it's quite musky in its dry down. I've done a full review of this fragrance. When it starts off, it reminds me of the middle stages of Creed's Tabarom, which I reviewed recently. Creed's Tabarom uses green tobacco leaf. It's very minty and mentally. There's no menthaliness here, but that green tobacco mixed with sweet warm amber is what makes this fragrance quite an attractive compliment magnet, because it's got huge amounts of projection and very high likability factor. I would wear this in evening time, any weather, because it's got the legs, it's got the strength to get the compliments. You'll be noticed. It's a sweet fragrance, hence great for clubbing, going out, on even dates. This has got a bit of personality, so I'd wear this to date as well, because it's not that generic sort of scent. It's got this gravity about itself. Very good for evening wear, any weather, apart from summer, very high heat. So So that was Rasasi Sutoor Taa. The other fragrance is again one of the fragrances I've reviewed about 1.5 years ago. It's a fragrance with gravity. It's a woody fragrance and it's called Woody. Rasasi Waaw Woody. This is a 60 ml bottle. The others are probably 90 or 100 ml. Can't remember. This is a very fine fragrance, but it's slightly serious and slightly mature. So if you're a 30 plus gentleman who likes vetiver and woody scents, I will highly recommend this. It has got a very good mixture of cedar, which is very green cedar, as if you're passing by a sort of a jungle where trees are being felled. It's got a fresh cut log of wood smell. It's combined that smell with citruses and pimento chili. So it's citrusy, slightly floral, slightly chili-like smell, and then it dries down into a woody vetiver. Very nicely executed, very suitable for people who live in hot countries, for daytime wear to office. Very good office scent, slightly mature, tremendous performance, very good performance, very good projection. So go light on the sprayer because you will really fill up the room. Okay, next on the list is the first oud in this line. There are 3 ouds in this line, and this oud is one of the most finest oud based fragrances you can buy for very little money. It is, I cannot remember the name now, Faqat Rijal, which means only for men or for men only. I've reviewed this fragrance. This has got the most authentic smelling oud, and it's very deep and rich, very complex, but it has skank that comes with oud. So if you're an oud lover, I'd recommend this. It also has a very unique note of geranium. I've not smelled many oud fragrances that use geranium so well. Yeah, so it's slightly rosy, slightly lemony, slightly minty. A very fine, very complex fragrance for very little money. You have to be a lover of oud to like this though. Yeah. So Faqat Rijal by Rasasi. I've done a full review. Check it out. I rate this very highly. I respect this fragrance very highly. But you have to be a lover of oud. Otherwise, that skank will bother you. The next on the list is one of the premium Rasasi fragrances. It's very expensive, but it is very good. It's an oud. It's from the Booruz line, and this is called Malaysia. I've got 2 of these. I think Malaysia and Indonesia both are very fine fragrances. This one is slightly more wearable because it uses oud, but it also complements that oud with florals, cardamom, spices, and greenness. There's a slight greenness about this fragrance, which makes the oud bearable. This is a beast mode fragrance, 1 spray only, very expensive, very complex, and totally luxurious. But you have to like oud. If you don't like oud, you will struggle because this is so strong, it will take over everything. In a room, if you go 2 sprays, I think you will nauseate yourself. Absolutely. It's very strong, very complex, it matures, develops. But if you're a lover of oud, this will really enthrall you. I think it's a very special fragrance. I'll wear it to evening time, special occasions, weddings, clubbing maybe, but it's too sophisticated and too elegant to be worn in a frivolous situation. Yeah, so I'll wear this to a date as well, but 1 spray here and that's it. But if you wear it to date, you have to be sure that the lady you're dating likes oud. Otherwise, you probably will get unfavorable comments. It's got skank and quite a bit of skank. So you have to be a lover of oud. Less skank than Faqat Rijal, but it has skank. But I'm used to it now, so I don't mind. And ouds normally have a little bit of skank. Okay, so next on the list is for young lads. And this is a fragrance which surprised me. It's not a full bottle, it's the only decant in this list. I recently received it from my mate in India, and it's Rasasi's Hawas. It surprises me. This is number 5 in the list. It surprises me because it's supposed to do Invictus, but it's better than Invictus. It's also very high quality. It's got ambergris, So what is the scent like? Scent is aquatic, fruity, just like Invictus. And it's supposed to smell synthetic, it smells synthetic, but after it dries down, this is a 1-day dry down. Sorry. The ambergris in this fragrance, which gives the fragrance slightly creamy, musky feel, is of very high quality. And that's what surprises me. This is also quite expensive. 3 years ago or 2 years ago, Hawas was available for 20 bucks, 100 ml. Today, you'll struggle to find it for less than 50 bucks. It's currently on Nutina for about 60, or eBay. But I can see why. It's a very high quality ambergris. Ambergris is not cheap. So Hawas is really good for young lads. Where would I wear this to? I would wear this to any occasion. I would wear a Invictus to, for example, clubbing when I'm in a group, because it projects a lot. I'll get all the attention, and it has that wow factor. It's very attractive, so compliment factor will be very high. But more suitable for younger lads, 20 somethings. Very fine scent. Really like it. I don't like Invictus, but I like this because of the ambergris. Next on the list is basically an Aventis Clone. It's the Pour Louis line. It's the Zibra, the famous Zibra. This is at number 4. I really like CD&IM, and I don't rate anything else close to CD&IM, which is Club de Nuit Intense Man by Armaf, one of the finest clones of Aventis. But this one is special. Why? Because this is beast mode. Boy, does it project. Boy, does it smell strong and good. It smells really good, but it's really, really nuclear. Only problem is it doesn't last as long and doesn't smell as smoky and amazing as CD&IM. But I still like it. I've done a video called The Battle of Aventis Clones, in which I've covered this one in detail, but I've not done a full review. I tell you what, if you like Aventis and if you like collecting Aventis clones, this is a must-have in your collection. But it can kind of becomes slightly redundant if you have CD&IM. But I've heard CD&IM current batches are slightly bit watered down. This will solve that problem. This has no such issues. It's absolutely nuclear strength. More than 2 sprays. Probably if you go clubbing, I'd advise more than 2 sprays. Otherwise, stick to 2 sprays. Very fine interpretation, I would say, of Aventis. Yeah, excellent actually. Top 3. Next on my list is a fragrance which is a cinnamon based fragrance. I have done a full review of this, and this one is from the Sutoor line. It's called Waaw, W-A-A-W. This one is a cinnamon honey. It's a very fine scent. It will remind you of Jazz Club by Meso Margiela. Superb, dry, not too sweet gourmand territory, which is in fashion at the moment. So I would say, if you like gourmands, if you like nighttime fragrances like Jazz Club that you would like to wear to clubs, I'd highly recommend this. This is a very fine quality scent, guys. Great value for money. Done a full review, check it out. Highly recommend for nighttime wear, to clubbing, outdoor occasions, year round. No issues. This is not too sweet. Slightly rougher than Jazz Club, but nonetheless it reminds me of Jazz Club. Excuse me. Next on my list is an evergreen, versatile office scent, which I happily recommend to everybody. It's one of my initial Rasasis, one of my most complimented Rasasis. I wear it with confidence, I'd recommend it with confidence. Number 2 on the list is Rasasi Al Wissam Day. It's a beautiful scent. It's basically an interpretation of Creed Silver Mountain Water. I love Silver Mountain Water. A lot of people don't like it. I don't get the inky vibe that I get from Silver Mountain Water. This is heavy on bergamot and musk. So it's more muskier, more vibrant, more heavily projecting, longer lasting version or interpretation, I should say, of Creed's Silver Mountain Water. What a beautiful office scent this is, guys. I've worn this to office to important meetings with big clients, very important clients, and I've had no issues. I've never been conscious that I'm wearing a 25-pound fragrance to a meeting where I'm wearing a 300-pound suit. No issues. Very, very elegant. Extremely well made. I'd say this is the best Rasasi in terms of value for money. Tremendous office daytime scent, any weather. Okay, time for number one, and this number one will surprise you fellas. This is again one of my early Rasasis. The moment I smelt it, I knew I was on a winner. This is called Rasasi Dhan Naswah. Very few people talk about it. The packaging is beautiful. The packaging tells you this is an oud fragrance, kind of emulates how oud is formed in nature. This is powdery. This is oudi. There's a little bit of skank in this, but it's dominated by honey and cinnamon, which create a representation of tobacco, very fine tobacco. The oud here, used here, is Cambodian oud, which has got a very fine tobacco nuance. It's got dry fruits, it's slightly smoky. It is a very complex fragrance that becomes better with time, but it's powdery. If you don't like powdery scents, this is not for you. But I adore this fragrance. I've done a full review. It's one of the most interesting, complex, highest value for money. You can get it for under £20, just over £20. And if you go to Fragrantica, you will see few people have voted this to be a replica of Fumier Turk by Serge Lutens, a discontinued fragrance. Fumier Turk is known as a gold standard of tobacco fragrances. Now, I have never smelled Fumier Turk. I would love to, but to be rated close to Fumier Turk says something about it. Not only about the scent or the smell, but also about the quality. Very high quality fragrance, guys, for very little money. This is the top Rasasi in my collection of about 15. I know some of you have asked me to go and smell Shagaf, which I will, but till then, I think this is an undisputed number one in my list. And I wish and I hope few people give this a bit of limelight in the Fragcom. Well worth it, fellas. This is a tremendous fragrance. I have no hesitation in recommending this as number one. Hope you like the list, fellas. See you again. Bye-bye.